Will XRP follow Flare? Now, this is an important video. I think that what Flare is doing right now is going to give us some insight into what is coming for XRP and why I am still more bullish than ever on XRP. While people are dropping off left and right, influencers that built their whole platform on XRP are now dipping out because they need to go shill something else. But hey, I wish them all the best. I really do. And I want to say thank you for all the support. It really means the world to me. Everything can be found on my website, ZachRector.com. Let's get right into it. So Flare is up about 300% from the lows that it went down to in about October of 2023, less than 1 penny. Now we see Flare just pushed over 3 cents, and I'm going to show you guys the charts, and then I'm going to explain why I'm asking the question, will XRP follow in the path that Flare has paved here? Let's take a look at the charts first. So as you can see, we're looking at Flare up 317% at the time of this recording. As I stated, October 19th is back when Flare was less than a penny, 0.0079. Okay. Now, full disclosure, I sold off my Flare on this day right here. These are daily candles. December 9th, I sold my Flare off at, it was 0.0213. So basically it was right above 2 cents, okay? And I offloaded my bag, and I'll tell you why. I want to get the bad stuff out of the way before we talk about, why I still am bullish on Flare. I still think that they're building an incredible product, but I'll tell you why I got my panties in a bunch. And that's because what the issue for me was the community voting to push out the airdrops. And I don't like this for the tokenomics of the project. And I just don't like when a project uses a community, in this case, the XRP community. Hey, we're going to airdrop to all the holders, right? And we thought it was all going to be one airdrop at once. Then they said it was going to be chunked up over 3 years. And then after, really the first airdrop, which was January 9th of 2023, we're just past the 1 year mark. The governance, which is everyone that holds Flare tokens actually gets to vote in Flare, in their ecosystem. It's how their governance works, which is cool, and that's fine. But I think that the community made a mistake by deciding to not give all these airdrops now going forward to people that aren't holding the wrapped Flare or however that's supposed to be working out, right? So now, like, you're still eligible for some if you wrap your Flare, but they added additional steps. And when you're trying to get adoption, and when you're trying to build out a broad community, you don't want to go back on what you promised. And two, you don't want to add additional steps and make it any more difficult than what cryptocurrency already is. Think of the masses. Don't think of us that know how to work a deal when we're trading crypto, wallets, exchanges, doing all that, right? Think about the average person that's just holding XRP, and you had the opportunity to get millions of XRP holders into your ecosystem, but you cut them out. I didn't like that, but the community voted for it. That's decentralization. So in that regard, I am 100% a fan of it. And really, I have nothing against the community. Let me be very clear. The whole reason why I've been butthurt about Flare this whole time is because I had some XRP on Coinbase at the time and of the snapshot, right? December 12th, 2020, right before the lawsuit, which was kind of funny in and of itself, because the whole community was all worried about this snapshot, right? Oh, they're going to be tracking our wallets. And then it just happened to be just a couple weeks right before that SEC lawsuit. So then the conspiracy theories got going. Is this tied to the SEC lawsuit? They're going to track us all. Well, we're on public blockchain, so everybody's wallets are already private, right? So when they take a snapshot of all the wallet addresses and how much is in there, that's still opened up today. So that was kind of funny, a learning moment for many in the space. But nonetheless, I had my XRP, or at least a little bit of XRP on Coinbase that I was trying to receive Flare for. And Coinbase never gave us our Flare. And they finally did late last year, way after the airdrop already occurred and after the price had tanked. So that really made me butthurt. And then we still haven't gotten our Songbird from Coinbase either. Remember, it was a Flare airdrop, and then it was Songbird. Songbird is a canary testnet for Flare, and we still don't have it. And I actually just messaged Fred Rispoli today, and I wanted to get an update from him because I thought that he had filed a lawsuit, and sure enough, he did. he had filed, it was, I believe, a class action against Coinbase. And the judge found some, legal reasoning for why she dismissed the case. But now Fred is working on appealing it to the 9th District or the 9th Circuit, I believe. So huge shout to Fred Rispoli for still fighting on our behalf to get our Songbird from Coinbase. But this is why I've been so kind of butthurt about the whole Flare situation from the very beginning. By the time Coinbase gave us the Flare, it had already dumped down to, less than a penny or whatever it went to. So nonetheless, right now, though, this is why this was a lesson I had to learn. This is where emotional investing is not the way to go, right? Instead of being butthurt about that, I should have just still been researching the ecosystem. See, I'm admitting my fault here and why I didn't make more money off of Flare yet, right? Now, the Flare that I sold at 2 cents, that was good, made a little profit, right? That was fantastic. Now we're seeing that Flare's ripped all the way up to 3 cents and the ecosystem's still been building. They just announced that big partnership with Google, which Google's now going to be an FTSO, which is a Flare time series oracle, essentially a validator of the Flare network. And that news was put out here, if we look at the charts, on the 15th of January. And so this took Flare back from sub 2 cents all the way back up to about 2.5, right? And then it has continued that all this week. It was running up, and now we just shot up to almost 3.5 cents, right? 3.0338. So this thing's been pushing really strong. But as I titled this video, I wanted to just say one piece about Flare. When you look at this ecosystem and what they're touting, right? The blockchain for data. This is important. The Flare time series oracles, what they get, incentives for is for finding data and being able to report it back to this big oracle that Flare has created. Now, Oracle is tracking all the data, and this is tracking data off chain as well, too. The other thing that's exciting about Flare, not only do you have those incentives, you can now delegate. I guess you could call it the same thing as staking, but you're delegating your Flare, you're wrapping it, and you're giving it to these validators essentially, and you're receiving a yield for that. And this is the DeFi, right, that's in the Flare ecosystem already, and this is the DeFi that's coming to the XRP ledger here soon. So that's fantastic. Now, there's also been additional airdrops that have been coming to those in the ecosystem there for Flare. And then I think one of the best things that they have going for them is the F assets concept, where you take blockchains that don't have smart contracts like Doge or XRP, and you wrap them and you make an F asset. I don't know if that's the same thing as wrapping, but essentially you take XRP, you take Doge, you take any other coin that you want. But the primary use case was take projects that don't have smart contracts, make them F assets enabled with smart contracts in the Flare ecosystem, which is built on top of the Avalanche protocol, essentially. It's a combination of XRP and Avalanche. So, but the reason why I wanted to ask the question here today, will XRP follow Flare, is because we're finally getting DeFi coming to the XRP ledger. And I'll tell you, I've been looking at this Flare now, and I just picked up another bag as well. Full disclosure, I just picked up a little bit more of Flare. After I'd sold off my position, I FOMO'd in today, and I'm kind of hoping that I get kind of beat up. I'm hoping that the market teaches me a lesson, right? Isn't that normally how it goes, right? We FOMO into green candles and then it drops back down. I'm fully expecting that to happen, but I wanted to get some exposure again to Flare, and I wanted to start playing around in the ecosystem and playing around with the DeFi. But this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't take much. The rewards there are actually pretty solid. And then it gets even better, right, as Flare's going up. Now, when the price is going down on Flare, you're still getting those rewards. You're getting paid out in wrapped Flare. And so doesn't matter what the price is doing, you're still getting those incentives, you're still getting those rewards, which gives you a reason to hold the project, whether it goes up or down. And it doesn't take much. And so this is what's coming to the XRP ledger, and why I do believe that XRP is going to follow behind Flare. It's going to follow behind Ethereum and all these other blockchains that have DeFi, that have an ecosystem where you can play with it. And this is what finally gives us an incentive to hold it. Now, for me, I don't need any staking rewards. I don't need to delegate. I don't need an AMM for me to hold my XRP. I'm going to be holding my XRP regardless because of all the other fundamentals that make up the whole XRP story for me. I don't need any staking. I don't need any AMM yield to hold my XRP. You guys know that. But for those, right, that are losing faith and conviction in XRP, just imagine those people ready to give up their XRP. But if you're still holding your XRP, you're going to be getting that drip. You're going to be getting that flow, right? And so this is what's coming to the XRP ledger through the AMM, which is different than delegating or staking. Don't confuse the two. What you have on all these other platforms, and you do have AMMs, Uniswap primarily, the largest DEX that has an AMM built into it. That's a layer 2 on Ethereum. But what XRP is going to have here is a layer 1 DEX with an AMM in it, which is different from delegating or staking. In a lot of these other blockchains, you give your, you give your cryptocurrency, you give your assets to somebody else, and they're going to hold them, and they're validators, right? They're doing whatever deal, proof of stake, right? They're staking it, and then you're getting a reward or a yield in return. What's interesting, what's different about this, right, is you're just utilizing the blockchain through the AMM to get that yield. So you're becoming a liquidity provider. You're not staking and basically taking out, I guess it's not taking out a loan, but leveraging your assets by using somebody else. You're leveraging your assets by using the DEX that's built into the XRP ledger. So you're using the blockchain itself. You're not having to rely on a third party, which is, obviously the program's working out pretty well for the Flare folks. You delegate with an FTSO and they can spit you back out a reward. And the big news that just came out this last month, obviously, was Google becoming one of those FTSO validators. And very big deal for the Flare ecosystem. But I think that in the XRP community, this is why I have more faith, more conviction. I'm more bullish than ever. It's not just because I'm hoping and praying and trying to solve a riddle. It's because it's like, guys, we're finally getting DeFi. We're finally going to have an incentive, and we're going to get a reward. We're going to get some yield for holding XRP and for providing liquidity, which is different from, delegating and staking. Let's be very clear about that. But I'm going to be dropping more content on the AMM as it approaches. Right now, it's set for Valentine's Day. Very exciting. And what I talked about with my Discord group yesterday in our Saturday Discord weekly call was the fact that with XLM Stellar, they already have an AMM, and you can go see kind of the yields that are being generated over there. You can go to Orchestra Finance right now on the testnet that they've set up for the AMM and play with it. See what you can do with the XRP Ledger AMM on the testnet right now. Antidos Finance is another project that's issued a testnet for the XRP AMM, so you can play with that one. But to me, this is a very exciting moment for the XRP community where we're finally getting the DeFi, we're finally getting the utility, and we're going to be able to give our builders, our developers, some essential tools that we need to really build out our ecosystem. So I'm not going anywhere. DeFi or not, I'm still holding on to this sucker. I'm treating it as a world reserve currency, but without a doubt, all it takes is just a little bit of DeFi, just a little bit of, a return, a yield, and you can see what happened with Flare here. And so this thing's pumping very strong. We'll see where it goes from here. Let me know in the comments down below if you think that Flare's going to keep this run going. Are we set for a correction? Right now we're trading above 3 cents. We'll be watching it closely. And then let me know what you think about the XRP Ledger AMM. Is this going to allow XRP to kind of follow behind Flare in some of these other DeFi ecosystems and help us finally start to appreciate in price? Let me know in the comments down below. Definitely interested. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.